Welcome back. You guys, can we believe this? It's so bittersweet. It is the last day of our last project in art this semester. I can't believe it. Okay. Well, anyway, let's make sure we're getting our stuff in. I'm a little bit emotional, but we move forward, right? So it is turn-in day. We want to make sure we're filling out our art journal entry number 7 with our 2 rotational symmetry cards. So I'm going to go into my art journal, and here we are. So we already know most of this, but I'm going to just do a real quick, skimming, reviewing of here's how we get all of the points so that we're not missing out. First and foremost, we want to add up all of our time spent. And remember, we're adding up the in-class time along with the out-of-class time, and we're shooting for that total of 10 hours, or the equivalent of 600 minutes. Don't forget to actually add up your time over here. If you don't add it up, you do lose a point, simply for not adding it. And you can use a calculator, okay? This isn't a math test. Use a calculator if you want to. Add that on up. And then it's 1 point per hour spent. All right. So that's 10 points in total, right? 10 out of our 40. So a quarter of our grade simply comes from the time we spent building our skills. Next are the actual cards themselves, the project. Like, did you follow the directions? Did you make what you were supposed to make? So here you can see in the middle is my self-portrait card. And then over here is my bonus one, my second one that I did. And that is the kingfish. And as you're noticing, there's a third one, which you're like, what in the world? I thought we only needed 2, Mrs. Stinson. Yeah, we only needed 2. But this is my extended learning. I continued, even though the project was technically over when I got these 2 done. I decided to continue and extend my learning. So in my self-portrait, I made it extremely intense with colors, right? Straight out of the tubes, those primary colors. So I decided for extra credit, as you guys know, to do one that was more muted with less intense colors. I mixed all of these colors. I mixed it with gray, and here's what I got. So you can see the totally different vibe that you get simply from having different colors. It does show just how important colors are and how they can help us as an artist. They can help us tell a story based on our color choices that we're choosing. Anyway, you need at least the 2 pictures in there. So make sure they're nice and big. Like, I don't want your pictures, don't put them in there and have them like, oh, there you go, Mrs. Stinson. I'm going to need some spectacles for that. It is a little too small. So we want to make it nice and big, fill up that space as much as possible. And don't forget, if you did do that bonus one, the extended learning extra credit, you can earn up to 5 extra credit points. So get that in there too if you did in fact do that. Either way, the 2 cards are worth a total of 20 points. Of course, if you did the extra credit, we're talking up to 25 points there in that section. So here we've got our 35 out of 40. So where does our last 10 points come from? Down at the bottom here. So we want to be answering these questions. So what was the most fun or challenging part of creating a piece with rotational symmetry? That point symmetry more specifically, right? That when we rotate it, that each point is the exact same distance from that center point. So what was so fun or challenging about that? So you can see I wrote the most challenging part was da da da, and of course I'd want to continue that thought in order to get the 5 points for this first question. And then the second set of 5 points comes down here. What was my favorite part of this project, or what do you think could be improved? How did you grow as a student and artist? So that's that reflection piece. So make sure that you're filling that out too for the last 5 points. That's our 40, or up to 45 if you did the extra credit, of course. So once you've got your art journal all filled out, let's go on into Buzz. Okay, so you can either go to your to-do list up at the top or click on our tile for class. Scroll on down until you see rotational symmetry turning. Click on that, and here we go. So now, while I'm in here, I can click on, well, I can't, but you can click on Google File and just find your art journal and attach it right here, and then hit Submit My Work. Since I'm the teacher, it doesn't let me, but you'll be able to. Anyway, so get that turned on in. Our goal is to have that in by before midnight tonight so that it's not considered missing, because at midnight Buzz is going to go, uh-oh, it's not in, and it's going to mark it automatically as a 0. And this is our last project. So yeah, we might have a few more days left of class. There's a little bit of buffer in there, but we are going to be continuing on. We're going to be doing review days and the end of the semester quiz. We're going to have a fun day in there too. So, you know, we've got other stuff or other directions that we're moving into. So, you know, the sooner the better as far as getting this in, especially since that finish line is getting real close and that end of the semester is right around the corner. Another thing that I wanted to mention too, because I have seen how cool some of these are looking, so don't forget to come on into our Hall of Frame and to submit your cards. You can do 1 or 2, or if you did the extra credit, you can do all 3. But just come on in and you're going to scroll down, claim your frame by putting in your name, and then add those pictures. You can actually just copy and paste them right from your art journal on into here. And I can see there's already some in here. That brings me so much joy. As a reminder too, if there are any projects from this whole semester where you're like, oh my goodness, I still haven't gotten those into the Hall of Frame, and you know, I really did want to, you can still add them. They're still, the Halls of Frame are still open for right now. And then as a reminder, there is going to be an end of the year art show, a virtual one, and I get those pictures for the end of the year art show from the Halls of Frame. I will never take them from Buzz. I realize that as artists, sometimes our artwork is meant for other people, and sometimes it's really just kind of meant for us. So I will never take your artwork from Buzz. I just feel like that's disrespectful, because I don't know if that piece was meant for more just you to view than for other people. So if you want your artwork to be considered for the end of the year art show, make sure that you've put your artwork into the Halls of Frame so that I can know that you're willing to share it with others. So what happens if you're like, wait a second though, I don't have the Hall of Frame for every single one? Well, you actually do. So let me just scroll on up here. So in here, you'll notice that it always will have on our 10th day of any project, it's going to say Hall of Frame. So if I continue to like scroll through here, let's see, where's another day 10, and Hall of Frame. Oh, I actually have to link that one. Okay, continue on, and yep, Hall of Frame. So you do have all of the Hall of Frame links actually in here. So they are there for you, or of course, if you ever click into it this way, you could also get to it within the slide itself where it says Hall of Frame down there. All right, I think that's about it. So our goal, of course, for today is going to be, we want to make sure that we are turning in for sure our project into Buzz so that we're getting credit for the work that we've done. And then also don't forget, if you want to turn it into the Hall of Frame, you can do that as well. And then gear up. We're gonna, you know, kind of coast on into the final few days of our semester together with lots of reviews and games, and of course the end of the semester quiz, and a fun day to tie it all together and just celebrate our semester together. Okay, I'm gonna go before I start getting emotional. All right, we'll see you next time.